Hey, what's up guys, Ravenclaw here, back with my Survival Hunter PvP guide. Now, before we get started, I want to say a massive thank you to every single one of you guys. We did it, we hit 4,000 subs. I cannot thank you guys enough. It is just an absolutely awesome feeling to know that we've come this far. So once again, big thank you. Now, we've got a lot to go over and not much time to do it in. So I say sit back, relax, and get ready for this guide. Now around the screen right now, we'll pop it up. You'll see the parts of the guide that you might be most interested in. Feel free to click that way, or otherwise just, you know, sit back and we'll get through this together. Okay, so let's go over the spells, guys. Now, our first three ones here are our aspects. Obviously the cheetah is our speed buff. Our turtle is our defense, hide away from everything until it disappears buff. Reduces all the damage and deflects everything else. Now, this one here, aspect of the eagle, this is what we'll use for our burst. So if we're ready, we lined up a target for the kill, we pop that along with few other things, and yeah, we can go to town on everyone. Grants you and your pet 10% increased critical strike chance on all abilities. And your pet's attack have an additional 25% chance to grant you a charge of Mongoose Bite. Now we'll get to Mongoose Bite in a second. Carve is our AOE, so you can spam that to obviously hack down or get because you don't need a target. Great for getting people out of stealth. Dragonsfire Grenade. This is a hard-hitting bomb basically. So you throw it at the target, hits the target like so. We'll just go over here. Alright, you throw at the target, bang, boom, you'll see that they attack, so you can see they're taking a dot damage, hits quite hard, and they're slowed by 20%. It's awesome. Plus it hits anyone around. Great AoE spread damage there. Exhilaration, that's obviously our heal. Feign Death is our sort of like a juke to get away from like castable effects, like spells. Flanking Strike, now this attack hits like a truck, but it also has a chance to trigger Hunting Companion, which it affects our Mongoose Bite. So if we hit it, right, it has like I said, a chance to regain a stack of Mongoose Bite. But we'll get to Mongoose Bite in a sec. Okay, now get my pet back here. Okay, so moving on, a Flurry of the Eagle. That's our artifact talent, which hits like a massive truck when it's stacked with Mongoose Bite. So if you look here, deals increased damage by Mongoose Fury. So if you stack your Mongoose, every time you hit Mongoose Bite, you get Mongoose Fury. And trust me, when you get 6 stacks of that and you pop that with everything else, I would not want to be in front of that. Harpoon, that's our gap closer. Pretty cool little effect there. Hatchetoss is great if you're sort of being rooted down and you don't want the target to go off. So if it's a rogue, don't want to go off and get a stealth. It's like weapons, what is it, axe toss or whatever for warriors. Lacerate, that's our dot, one of our main dots we can put on, and hits quite hard. So 263 damage roughly. Obviously things change in PvP. Now Mongoose Bite, that's what I use as a main attack. So if you look here, alright, when we attack, up the top here we get Mongoose Fury, watch. And it increases the damage of Mongoose Bite the more stacks you get, and you can get 3 stacks. Trust me, when you put all this together and you start hitting like a truck, like it's unbelievable. Alright, Play Dead, that's not really important. Ranger's Net is great for catching up to, say, let's say you're trying to chase down a rogue, he pops out everything, you just throw the net at him, lock him down. Throw net, lock him down, throw the net, you get the idea. Raptor Strike. Now, we'll get to the artifact weapon in a sec, but when you hit Raptor Strike, it hits quite hard, but it also heals. Obviously I'm full health now, so I'm not going to get any regen, but it actually heals you for a certain amount, which is absolutely wicked. Snake Hunter grants you 3 charges of Mongoose Bite. This is part of our burst rotation, which I'll show you later, and I'll talk about it a bit more there, which it's obviously pretty straightforward, but I'll tell you how to use it. Axe Throw is awesome for sort of long range attacks, right? As you can see, it hits quite hard, but it's great if you're about to kill an enemy and they're sort of living for a little bit longer, you can spam those two together, and it's actually quite a good way to secure a kill there. Traps are straightforward. We have our freeze trap, right? So that freezes the target. We have our explosive trap, which is part of my rotation, and I'll show you that in a sec too. And we have our tar trap. So tar trap basically surrounds the area in tar, slowing the enemy. Sometimes it'll root the enemy. So you see there, it roots the enemy. And but the more important thing, it's great for peels, for say melees are charging at your healer there. Great for holding them off and yeah, letting your healer get out of harm's way. That's a pretty quick rundown of the spells. I think we'll move on to the next part now, guys. Okay, so now we're going to go to the talents. Let's open the talents up. So, for your talents, the first row that I go with. Now, this is a bit of a... This can be subjective. Now, two ways to think of this. The throwing axe is more essentially a dot, really, because you're throwing 3 of them at once and getting the bit of a pressure. Now, you have people that go with Mock Nathal. That's okay. What that essentially does, it allows you to stack a buff. Every time you hit Raptor Strike, it puts a buff up, and it stacks, increases your attack power by 3% to a total of 12%. That's okay. I don't use it. I use throwing axes. It just seems a bit more viable for me. But if you can stack your mock well enough with your burst, you can actually do a lot of damage. But I choose throwing axes because it's just great to work in with my rotation and to keep a bit of pressure on people that are trying to kite you as well. The next tier, we've got Snake Hunter, Mortal Wounds, and Murder of Crows. Murder of Crows is great if you want to keep the part of the dot rotation. A lot of people use it as a what they call an Affliction Hunter or rot damage. Because we've got a fair few dots, they put that on as well. It allows you to actually keep a lot of dot pressure on your target. Now, Snake Hunter is for the more bursty way that I like to play. I will show you how to use this in our rotation part, but these are the two that I normally take, Murder of Crows or Snake Hunter. Mortal Wounds I don't really take because I find that the other two are a bit more viable. The next one, Post Haste, is great because every time you use Harpoon, you'll get that speed buff, which breaks, especially if you've been, say, Mage freezes you to the ground, you can actually catch up, breaks the snare, and you can get out. But Trailblazer I've also been taking because every time you don't attack for 3 seconds, so watch, if I attack now, it slows me down, but then after 3 seconds, it'll let you take off again. A lot of people I've seen have been using Fast Strider, which is also a good ability. I guess this is situational. Fast Strider, if you use your Harpoon, it's on cooldown, but every time you do a critical strike, it has a 10% chance to reset the remaining cooldown, which can be quite handy. Okay, level 60. Now, Caltrops, Improved Traps, and Steel Trap. This is another... I've seen a lot of hunters use different types of things. I use Improved Traps because it shortens the cooldown on it. And there's also a part of the artifact weapon, which we'll get into, that also reduces traps cooldown, which is great for getting that constant CC out. Steel Traps allows you to put basically a bleed on put a bleed on the target. And Caltrops, I've seen a lot of people use Caltrops for the bleed damage and the slow, the extra, really like 70% slow. I guess it's situational, so you have to gauge where you want to go. Like against, if you're going to be like sort of needing to lock out the healers a lot, I would say use Improved Traps. Or if you are finding that you want to keep on top of a target that can sort of kite you a lot, you probably want to go Caltrops, but I use Improved Traps. Next one here is Ranger's Net. Camouflage I take if we really want to get the opener on a team, and I don't find that I need to keep people at bay a lot, like if I need to sort of lock down a target and keep up with them. So I use Camouflage for certain times, and I use Ranger's Net for the times that I feel like it's going to be more of a kitey class, like if we're up against another hunter that can disengage, or you know, a rogue that can sort of slow us and get away, or even a mage that can blink, those sort of things. So once again, situational. Sorry about the loud motorbike that's going past. Anyway, okay, this one here I use Dragonsfire Grenade. Dragonsfire Grenade has just been such a good thing. So when we go into our, like, you know, you're putting all your dots on, like it just hits so hard and it applies another dot to the target. Serpent Sting's okay every time you use Raptor Strike, but to be honest, in my rotation, I only use Raptor Strike as a filler. Now, I'll get to that in the rotation. And the last one here, Expert Trapper is the one I take because Freezing Trap, when it ends, it adds a freeze to the target, right? But also, when you use Tar Traps, it has a chance to root the enemies in place. So, as you can see then, it didn't root any one of them, but the chance actually procs quite a lot, and that's great for peels, but it's a great AoE peel. Aspect of the Beast, I mean, you can use that for a little bit extra damage and whatnot on your pet, so you can use a bleed or things like that, but I find out of all three here, I use Expert Trapper, and it's come quite handy for me. So if we move on now to the honor talents. Now I've been trying to grind this guy out to get up to the to prestige, but you know that's going to take a little bit of time, and I want to get this guide out to you guys so I can help you guys out. Now, the things that I use here, Gladiator's Medallion is what I use. A lot of people use Adaptation, and I don't like it purely because of if you get sapped, that's it, your trinket is popped and then you're screwed. Or if I chuck a trap on someone, bam, they'll trinket it straight away. Sort of wastes the ability to wait out a CC, so I use Gladiator's Medallion. The next one here, Sparring has become quite good for me against like melee attacks, and especially if you get trained by a warrior, rogue, or something like that. It does proc quite a lot, I found. Now, if you're going against sort of, like mages and other spellcasters, you probably want to go Reinforced Armor to give you a little bit more health, or hardness. It's okay, because while you're above 80%, I mean, like, if you're getting trained, you're not going to be above 80% quite a lot, are you? So it's usually these two I usually go with. Now the next one here, this is once again, so if you go up against say an Affliction Lock, you would take this. If you're against say warriors and things like that, you would take this one here. But Survival Tactic is actually really good. Every time you feign death, it removes all the harmful effects on you, and reduces your damage taken for a couple of seconds. So if you're getting burst and you've got like a slow, or you've got dots and bleeds or whatever on you, you can just drop it, remove it all, and get out of the way. Great for sort of if you know you're going to get trained. These ones here, now they've been a massive nerf to these things, and it's quite annoying. You used to be able to, with this one now, they're instant shots that you can use. Say on my BM, every time you use Cobra Shot, it would apply Viper Sting. Now you've got to apply it yourself, but it only lasts for 6 seconds and there's a cooldown. Kind of sucks that we got smacked in the butt with that. But anyway, having said that, Viper Sting, it reduces any instant cast heals by 30%. Scorpid Sting is a critical strike debuff, so if you put it on this target, it'll reduce their critical strike chance. And this one is great for, say, a mage is about to cast Polymorph. You can chuck that on the target. It'll once it tries to cast, it'll get silenced for 6 seconds. 4 seconds. It's really handy, that one. The next one here is Master's Call, is the one I usually go with, because these two here aren't the best. I mean, Mending Bandages, if you've got a bleed on you, you can't use it. And you've got to get out of harm's way to be able to use it anyway. So, Hunting Back, it reduces the cooldown of your aspect of the cheetah, and makes it so that all your teammates can benefit from that. But Master Call is the best, especially if you're getting locked down by a mage and you want to catch up to get a kill or something like that. You can just pop it off. Anyway, you use that and it'll get you out of any of the roots and make you immune to those effects for 4 seconds. And the last one here, I will be going with Tracker's Net. I don't have it now, it's annoying. Here's something interesting though. Tracker's Net, okay, so while they're in the net, right, they do, where is it? Their chance to hit is reduced by 80%, massive against like melee attackers like warriors and whatnot. But this Diamond Ice, right? Diamond Ice essentially makes our ice trap now another clone. So we can't attack them, they can't get healed, they can't do anything. So that is quite good. Say you're going with a druid and whatnot, they can do a clone, but then you can drop a Diamond Ice on the target, especially if they're really low and you want to get a kill, but you're waiting for the DRs to drop on the healer. You can clone the target, then drop Diamond Ice, and they can't get healed, and it can't be dispelled, which is absolutely wicked. So I switch between these depending on the comps. And that brings us to the end of our talents, guys. I hope I'm not rushing through this too much. You can always replay this to have a bit of a listen, but as for that, now we'll move on to the rotation. Okay, guys, so rotation. Now, what I like to do, okay, is we'll start off with applying our dots. Okay, before we get, I've actually made a macro here. So if you see here, macro, it's a cast sequence macro that's in a certain order because it goes by cooldown. Lacerate comes on a 10-second cooldown. I believe explosive traps on a 14, and Dragonsfire Grenade is on a 30-second cooldown. So reset 10, so it takes it back to Lacerate when it's off cooldown. Don't worry about it. I'll put this in the description so you can use, and I'll tell you how to use it right now. So really, the rotation is apply your dots when you can. Keep your Mongoose Bite up as much as you can. So use your Mongoose Bite over and over and over. Save your Fury of the Eagle until you have at least 6 stacks of Mongoose Fury. Okay? Because when you have 6 stacks, it'll do a crap ton of damage. Because remember, it benefits from that. Another thing though, so let me just hit this once. You'll see that there's a cooldown timer here. So when I hit it again, it doesn't reset it. And you hit it again, still doesn't reset it. I've got 3 stacks there, and they're going to die. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, if I get to 6 stacks, I'm probably not going to have time to be able to pop this out. Well, I'm going to show you something as we start. What happens is, when you use Fury of the Eagle, it actually adds time to the cooldown enough for the Fury of the Eagle to finish. So I'll show you that in a sec. So basically, all you want to do is apply your dots, Lacerate, your Grenade, and your Dragonsfire. Start stacking up your Mongoose Bite. Then I go into a Flanking Strike to get, hopefully to get another proc of Hunters. Actually, I'll show you where that is. I'll go here. So Hunter's Companion gains another stack of Mongoose Bite, and then continuously smack that up. Once you get to 6 stacks, then we use Fury of the Eagle. So I'll show you how we go now. So we apply our dots, right? Go ahead, apply the dots. Then we go into the Mongoose Bite, add that. Go to Flanking Strike, so you get another stack. Keep going. Now you press your 1-shot, which adds all that, and I'll show you that in a sec. Now we're up to 6 stacks, so you see the timer there. Then you press Fury of the Eagle, see how it added time to the cooldown. Then you go ahead, and then you just basically rinse and repeat that. Keep adding your dots, add more dots, and you can see from there that you can do quite a bit of damage. But that's basically it. And then basically what you want to do is rinse and repeat. Add your dots again, and then keep adding Mongoose Bite. And I use Raptor Strike as a sort of a filler when things are on cooldown. Now, as you can see, we don't really have many. Doing this rotation is not very focus dependent. So you can actually keep these stacks up quite a lot. So you can see how much damage you can do. And then only use Fury of the Eagle when you have 6 stacks of Mongoose Fury, if you want to maximize that pressure. Now I'll just show you the macro I've got here for the thing, which will also be in the description. So it's just Snake Hunter, which adds another 3 stacks. So remember, you want to go 3 stacks of whoops, let's get out of that, cancel that. So 3 stacks. So after you've applied all your dots, 3 stacks of a Mongoose Bite, then Flanking Strike, then you pop your extra 3 stacks, so that way you can span that out, get up to thing, and then hit your Fury of the Eagle. But yeah, so keep an eye out for the macro. Oh jeez, the macro down below. And as far as that goes, other than that, yeah, there's not much to it. So what else we have is we have our CCs, which are the traps. Okay, you want to make sure that you use them wisely. So if you have a healer over there and you want to land a trap and you're not too confident about throwing it out, you can chuck a net to lock them down and then drop the target on their face. Drop the I read the training dummy. The ice trap on their position. So remember, every time you use a trap, what's it called? A net, it also slows them, allowing you to get that trap off a lot easier. Okay, so little things like that will hopefully help you out in your survival arena journey. Alright, so let's move on to our artifact weapon, and I think we'll say goodbye. Okay, guys, so what have I done with my artifact weapon? Okay, so I have taken first I branch right, okay, and then I'll branch left, because this is why. So when we start here, we get increased damage straight up. You have to take that. You know, you can't do anything else without taking that. The next one here increases the damage dealt by Mongoose Bite. And as you know, this build that I'm doing is all about the Mongoose Bite. We're focused around Mongoose Bite. Then we get Flank Strike, which increases the critical strike chance, because you get, every time your pet critical strikes, it has a percentage to give you a hunting companion stack. But every time you use your Flanking Strike, you get an increased chance of getting that as well. So that's why I went up this end. Plus I go to Raptor Strike. It also heals you, like I mentioned earlier. But I mean, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why aren't you using Raptor Strike a lot then if it heals you? I mean, the heals are good, but they're not like, oh my god, I'm going to live Lord forever. Good. Yeah, so don't sort of rely on Raptor Strike to just heal you back up, because we are very squishy. Very. But here, this is why I wanted to go this. Your basic attacks have a chance to trigger 2 rapid additional blows. And as you know, we're all about the dots, as many attacks as we can go. And having every extra bit of damage out there is phenomenal. Up here, reduces the cooldown of your aspects by 20%, which is great for your aspect of the eagle. Yeah, now it's only down to a 1.6 minute cooldown. Then I went this way. Carve is more for the AoE pressure, but more so in PvE. That's why I want that one. But this one here, as a filler, your Raptor Strike does an extra 20% damage, which is absolutely wicked. I think that's 20% because I've got it relicked. But remember, relics are cancelled in any sort of PvP scenario. Here, because we use the explosive trap in our rotation, I wanted to get this out to get a little bit extra damage, and then come down to here. Aspect of the Eagle increases all damage you deal by 30% for its duration. And that is epic, because at the moment, it does grants your critical strike ability by 10%. Okay, that's great, but this will increase your entire damage, the whole lot. That's why I wanted to go that way first, then into here, and then I'm going to go up through here. I probably might even get that first for the extra cooldown on the cooldown reduction on the traps, which is handy, and then head up to the top here, and then come back down probably through here. Yeah, see, these ones in here aren't super great, I believe. Yeah, so that's why I went right first, left, and then come up through here, and then back down, and you'll have your artifact weapon. But that's pretty much it in the way of the artifact weapon. Don't forget to keep your knowledge going. So for those, I'll just quickly show you that. For those that aren't fully aware of where it is, I'll just quickly show you. Make sure that you come out and you utilize this artifact knowledge, because it increases the chance. So it increases the artifact power gain you get. At the moment I'm on 500% because I'm on level 8. I've got another one cooking. It should be about another 9 hours. But you know, it is what it is. And you keep doing that, and then I'm actually going out, and today I've actually got quite a lot. Look, 2100 there, 1300 there. And I'm doing a lot of like battlegrounds to get my bits and pieces up. And once I get fully prestige goodness, then I'm going to go and do some more arenas. And yeah, so I've only just started arenas on this guy, and actually doing pretty good. Like, it's, yeah, having a lot of fun. But yeah, anyway guys, I will go up to my little orc mountain. You're probably wondering why I didn't do this on Raven. It's purely because that I've been doing survival on my orc and keeping Raven as BM. So let's zoom in so we can say a goodbye. But yeah, if this has helped you in any way, please let me know down below. Or if you have anything else to input into the guide, make sure you post your comment down below. Help everyone else out. Once again, thank you so much for your constant support. It means the absolute world for me, and I have been in talks with some really good people. We've got some really good things coming your way, so be sure to stay tuned. And yeah, as always guys, you keep on sniping, and I will see you in the next video. Take care guys. Peace.